fucking swear.
I wasn't even recording.
A mess. Well, on this episode, we're going to talk about manly things. Like cock rings. It was better when you interrupted me the first time.
So we went to start the podcast and we had this funny intro that we always end up just pulling out of our asses.
Yeah.
But
we're not good at planning things.
I know.
We're like naturally just good.
I know. I look like I have no arms.
Okay, this is not a good start to our new segment series.
Exactly.
But yes, we are doing a new type of episode theme.
The history of sex history.
Sex history.
We haven't come up with it. As you can tell, we haven't come up with a name or anything. We just last week we did the
history of the
butt plugs, and we always talk about this stuff off air all the time.
Yeah.
So we're like, hey, why don't we try this?
Actually do some research, because we're not talking about sex history like sex ed, like how to give a good blowjob, although that's a good idea
although too. If there is a research paper on it, we will find it and we will present that to you.
This is how, like, the history. So where did something come from, like butt plugs, which you heard about last week,
which has like a medical history, and it was used for
curing headaches,
right? So like what we're doing is we're also being like sex positive by showing everyone that, hey, these things have been used for a long time, and it's okay if you like butt plugs.
It is
a-okay. It can cure madness,
and that's right,
and anorexia and constipation.
Good memory, Jenna.
Upset stomach, diarrhea. Hey, anal dilators,
and a third ball can't cure it all. That's a great song from Ashley Kurchenko at Yuck Yucks.
Right.
All right. So, So what we're going to do is take turns every week that we do this kind of episode, History of Sex. And one of us is going to be the expert and kind of learn about the history. And the other is going to,
ask the questions that you wish you could ask too.
Yeah. So today's theme actually really blew my mind about.
You've already told them what it's about, right?
Yeah.
Oh,
right. Cock rings.
I thought you were leading up to like, this is a...
No. But what this really made me realize is researching this. You know how we often talk about how there was a period in time where it's like everybody was loose and fun and even being gay was okay. And then something happened and everybody like tightened their assholes up and nothing flew. No drugs.
Anal dilators went off the market.
Everything. So did cock rings. You're about to learn. So there was just this short period in time where everybody clenched. Well, I guess it was like 100 years, but everybody got super prudish, and it's like we're still digging out of this hole.
Right.
But before that, everything was cool, including cock rings.
Well, like if you think and you go all the way back to like Greek, you hear about like ancient Greeks and ancient Romans and stuff, and how everyone had orgies all the time, and it was totally cool. It was seen as being like hyper masculine and all this stuff. And
right. You're talking like the kings would have like their little boy servant suck their dick and be like, well, I'm teaching them a lesson.
But maybe that's why it was so socially acceptable, because it was the king doing it.
Yeah.
Now it's the politicians making it illegal.
Or high school teachers.
Right? While they're doing it behind their back, behind everyone's back. If you also have a subject you would like us to look up, please feel free to contact us. You can DM us and you can email us. Just go to messypodcast.com.
And we're not doing anything gross like bestiality or children.
No children, no bestiality.
Anything else, though.
Everything else flies.
Okay, so here we go. Let's get right into it. Stop me if you have any questions, because I actually, and I had to tell everyone, because we're transparent. This was Jenna's idea, and at first I was like, "Are you serious? You want me to research for something called the Messy Podcast? We drink wine and we shoot the shit. I don't want to work at this."
But I made you watch Drunk History.
Yes, and in doing this research for this episode, I was thoroughly fascinated. So thank you. You always know me better than I know myself, Jenna Mo.
Right. I do think that you're going to enjoy this.
Yeah.
You at home as well.
Oh yeah, it's not all about me. Okay. So here we go. Cock rings. Yeah. For nearly a century.
Hold on. Say it one more time, because you love saying it.
Oh, it's going to be said a lot. Cock rings. For nearly a century, cock rings have beefed up the boners of gay men, bondage fans, and every other type of guy too. So Jenna, let's start with some knowledge. Do you know what a cock ring is?
Yes.
Okay, what?
I'm confused.
What? Okay, so that's why I asked.
Cock rings, because they come with all different purposes now.
That's right.
There's not...
They've evolved.
Right, because they originally were there to help a men's erection lasts longer, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
But now they come with like vibration and stuff. So I'm not thinking that's going to make them last longer.
But the vibration is usually for the girls.
Right. So if a guy has like you would never have a vibrating cock ring on just for your own pleasure.
Well, I guess you could.
That's for your partner.
Well, you're asking the wrong girl. I mean,
right.
I'm not getting one.
Do gay men not use cock rings?
Look at your hair. Oh, gay men use them. All right, I should just get into the gays took over the cock ring.
Okay.
So the cock ring burst onto the scene in the year 1200.
Sorry, I'm having a really hard time.
She with my hair. She needs a cock ring for
it's
hair.
Just like literally just floating everywhere.
Get a cock ring. Do you have a cock ring for Jenna's hair? We could use an elastic.
Okay, maybe if I part it down the middle, we'll be okay. Okay. Whoa, crisis averted.
How do we keep your hair up?
Crisis averted.
Okay, so comes. Sorry.
See, this is what
we're already a bottle of wine in. Okay, calm down. Okay, year 1200 though. That right there. I didn't even know year 1200 was a thing. Like that's a long ass time. That's like caveman, isn't it? 1200.
No, because it wasn't caveman before Christ.
Oh, right. The oldest you ever learn about in school is 1600, like Vimy Ridge.
No, you learned about BC.
Oh.
Wasn't the ancient Romans before Jesus?
Okay, I missed that class. I don't know. I don't know.
If you're getting your educational like tips and quids from me,
well,
that's not
shut up. We just told everyone we're giving them real history.
Okay, yes, all right.
We're educational.
Back to the cock ring.
1200.
Ring of cock.
So they've been around for a while, year 1200. The interesting thing is that cock rings are one of the few inventions since that time that haven't really changed that much.
Oh.
Yeah, they've had the addition of like
vibrating different colors, man. Yeah. You can buy like the $5 cheap ones that you like one time use, or there's like ones you can spend more money on. We Vibe has one for men.
Yeah. They're great. They're a great thing. I'm a supporter of them, but not that I need one, but they're fun to have.
And honestly, sometimes I don't want it to last longer.
Well, you shouldn't wear one for longer than 20 to 30 minutes because if you do, you might get something called, I don't know what it's called, but it's basically
dead dick.
It's an unstoppable erection, or worse, penile gangrene.
Well, because you're cutting the circulation flow off.
And blood is meant to flow, like you just said. So
right.
if you're not flowing the blood.
Well, and that's all a boner is blood rushing to.
And rushing out.
Yeah.
So when you look at it that way, it's kind of like, ooh, do I really want a cock ring? But anyway.
No, I don't.
so well, maybe you do if it's got one with the little lips for the clit. Okay, so this is how they came to be. They're from China too, just like the butt plugs.
A lot of the cock rings now come from China.
The Chinese are freaky.
Cheap shit from China, man.
Yeah. So specifically, cock rings came from men in what was called the Jim dynasty in the year 1200. I guess they had different families called dynasties. Are you falling asleep?
I was just making sure you pronounced it right.
J-I-M. How do you write?
Okay, yeah.
Jim dynasty.
Sure.
And so these guys in the Jim dynasty had serious trouble getting it up. We don't know why. And they were in
steroids, gym guys, steroids.
In year 1200, yeah. Get that bison steroid injectable. Anyway, so they were in desperate need of longer lasting, harder willies that could service multiple brides.
Right, because they all had concubines.
That's
too, right?
Yeah. What's a concubine?
That's like a group of like a harem.
Oh, that's exactly. Okay, so I took that word out because I didn't know what it meant.
A concubine?
Yes. Oh. And it just said multiple brides. So that was redundant.
Yeah. So they had like they owned women back in a lot of those days in a lot of different cultures. They like owned women. So they had like 5 or 6 or 10 women. And within this concubine, there was like a level of rank as well, which was quite interesting. So like the one that had been there the longest, she was like the head one. And
like
it's like sister wives
yeah.
kind of. Yeah. Except for I think their sole purpose really a lot of the time was just sex.
Why did that go away? See, like we were saying at the beginning, that's not such a terrible idea. And if the women wanted to be there. You would just
want to be like a sex pet?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
What do you think most gay men are?
I thought you would be the one who had the sex pets.
I would be, but I mean, I'm not opposed. Interesting word. Oh, wow. You're making me think. I think I'm switching. I think I've reached the age of the gay man where I'm not to be straight.
Oh, I was like, what?
From bottom to top. I'm like switching.
Okay.
We'll talk about it.
I
think I am. It's just the types of guys that I seem to connect with all my life have been like, want to top me, but now it seems that I'm talking to guys that I'm interested in that are
I think it's because you're an older gentleman now.
That's what I think. Yeah.
Right.
Nothing to do with IBS. I mean, I can still do both, but hey, fellas. All right, so here we go. Someone, we're not sure her in this gym. Sorry, one more time. We're a bottle of wine in. I need to slow it down.
Well, we're about to have to open another one.
Okay, so one of these guys in the gym dynasty got the idea of fashioning a ring from, get this, this is the very first cock ring, a goat's eyelid.
Oh.
A dead goat's eyelid. And the worst part is,
oh, like the whole tissue?
Yes, and then they cut a hole in it.
As disturbing as that is, it makes a lot of sense. Because you know, like, have you ever like pinched your eyelid before and it feels like a rubber band almost?
Yeah.
You know that thing I'm talking about?
Yes.
Yeah.
Please don't rip ours off. Thank God they said the goat was dead when they did it. So like, that's nice of them.
But they're using the whole goat. I think that's great.
And they didn't even take the lashes off this first ever cock ring. They left the lashes
Why?
on.
Of course, that would be double your pleasure.
Oh man.
The eyelashes, like, think about it. Like, here, like, take your finger and just go like this against my eyelashes. See, am I against your dick?
I guess. I don't know. Now I'm picturing your eyes on my dick. It's weird. We're like brother and sister. So what this first guy did, he pierced his hole through the goat lid, and then tied it on. So no,
like a jawstring.
Yeah, but he tied it, so it was a thin, long piece of eyelid that he had to tie into.
Yeah, it's that thing you feel where your eyelash is. You know what I mean?
Oh, the ridge.
Yes, I think it's that because it's like a little elastic band.
Oh man, I can't. That's so disturbing.
But you know what I mean? Like if you pinch your eyelash like this way and you can feel...
I know. I don't need to look at your eyelid. This is awful. I want a new topic. That's really fucked up.
Are we gonna now? We're not making sex toys more like mainstream with this. We're turning people off of them.
Remember, this was 1200. This was a long time ago. We're almost 200 years from this. 100. Anyway, we're a long time from year 1200.
You know the weird vacuum head that you have? The vacuum head that it's like little and it has like these two like bristles.
Oh yeah.
And you never know what it's for.
Yeah, it's for stairs.
That's what it kind of reminds me of, the bristles.
Yeah.
Like sticking your dick in that.
Yeah, you're not wrong. So this guy tied it on to stiffen his member, your favorite word. And it was to boost pleasure and prolong his orgasm. And it worked. Thank you, goat's eyelid. In fact, all cock rings still work this way. Whether slipped over the penis or over the testicles too, their whole idea is to constrict blood flow to the dick.
Over the balls too?
What?
You stick the whole thing in there?
Oh my God, we need to talk about this. But basically, everybody knows. For the people that have never.
Are your balls like octopus where they can fit in, or squid where they can fit in all kinds of little nooks and crannies?
No, but you open the cock ring wide enough, put it all through, and then it. Are you kidding me?
That's you know what it reminds me of, ladies? Hear me out. Have you ever fallen asleep with a hair elastic around your wrist?
Well, yeah, that's
and you wake up and it's a little too tight.
You can only wear it for 20 to 30 minutes for that reason.
Right.
But no, I thought this is crazy to me because I only have ever worn one over everything, the balls too, because the idea of putting it on just the dick, like before the balls, that's too strangled for me. Like that's too
strangled, but you're gonna fit your nuts and berries in there?
Because at least if it's around the berries and the shaft, it's like a bigger area to hold. Like it's not just a.
Okay, calm down with your hand gestures. You ain't that big, homie.
No, that's not my dick. That's the whole balls too. Are we thinking about this the same way?
Yes, we
need
are.
Visuals.
No, we are thinking of it the same way.
You have to, because for me anyway, if I were just to put it over the dick.
Are we gonna have to put a dry erase board behind us so we can start drying?
Yes. This is all just an excuse to draw penis shapes. Yeah, I'm a big fan of over the balls too, because for me it feels.
I've never used one.
Really?
Yeah.
Even with your new guy?
No. Can you pass me the wine?
Yes, I can pass you the wine.
No. So, this is all. I just think that would be incredibly uncomfortable. Like, again, it just reminds me of like tying your hair through a ponytail. When you do it really tight, that last through the ponytail like hurts. Like it's uncomfortable.
Yeah, I mean, I will say about cock rings, they're a great thing to help keep a hard erection, but they're not Viagra. So like you
gotta still get it up in the first place.
And you still have to be in the mood. You can still not be hard with a cock ring on. It just helps. And like it helps maintain it and you last longer. And
as men get older, I've noticed they don't need help in the maintaining category. Sometimes it's like, okay, let's get it over with.
Oh, but to start in the first place, they need help?
No.
Oh,
just like lasting. I don't know.
I don't know what you're
I
saying.
remember when guys were younger, it was like 2 pump chump, you know? But as guys got older, men got older, I find that now they can last.
Well, that's, you know why? Because the skin is desensitized. And that's why there's a theory that guys, young men, jerk off so much. It's because they're
They got
desensitized.
baby dick skin.
They got baby dick skin, so they got to desensitize it so it's not as sensitive for sex. And that's the same reason they say uncut guys are a lot more sensitive than cut guys, because we are cut guys. Oops.
He's a member of the show him your card.
Yeah.
Show him your card.
I'm not Jewish, but parts of me are. Okay. So there's this idea that like cut guys don't have as good of sensations. Well, we don't know what we're missing, but
right.
You know,
all the cut guys I know are just as well off as the uncut guys in that department.
Thank you, Jenna. Thank you. So as long as they fit right and aren't left on too long, they work like a charm. By the 1600s, cock rings were fashioned out of new materials. 1600s. What do you think they were made of?
Oh, something like wood, something not pleasant.
Not wood, because you can't make wood into a circle.
Well, like, you know how when you put your hands in the guillotine or whatever?
Oh, I guess you could, but then it would be square with a circle cut out of it.
Metal.
No, it wasn't wood. Jade, ivory,
ooh,
and stones.
I would love a jade bracelet. No, in a lot of Asian culture, in Chinese Asian culture, jade bracelets are put on children when they're babies, and then they stay on their whole life.
Well, a baby jade bracelet would be about the same size as a cock ring, wouldn't it?
Depending on the guy.
Hey. So there you go. So jade, yeah. Sometimes those
are expensive. Those aren't the $5 rip out of a package that looks like a condom.
No. Oh, really? I've never seen it.
You've never seen? Oh, yeah. They're like $5.
Says the girl that's never used one.
I haven't, but I've researched them.
All right. So where was I?
I look at Wicked Wanda's website once in a while just for shits and giggles.
Yeah, I still got my.
It's good to stay informed. Maybe you'll find something you like that you had no idea even existed.
That's right.
I haven't found that yet, but you know.
I still got my eye on that auto blow too.
That I don't know if you have to go to that length, like that amount of trouble to masturbate. Like
I'm thinking for my
I feel like that's something you're gonna buy when you finally admit you're just gonna be alone for the rest of your life.
How do you know I'm not there, Jenna?
Right?
How do you know I'm not
well,
there?
then we have to talk before you make like a $500 purchase for dick sucking robot.
Well, I'm just planning ahead for my upcoming OnlyFans.
Right? Dude, I would fully support that.
I'm thinking about it more. Every thirst trap I post, they're the only content I post that gets such a big reaction.
I would fully support it.
Okay.
All right. So
Maybe
what were they made of?
Maybe we need to have Corey back on to talk about how I can get into that business.
What were they made out of?
She's like,
oh, they were made out of jade. Sorry.
Jade, yes. She's like, stop talking about yourself, Jesse. I can't.
I've been dealing with this for years.
Okay.
People are probably like, Jenna's such a bitch. I'm like, look, we've been doing this for years.
It's a long time.
Before you call me a bitch.
She knows how it's going. Yeah.
We've been doing it for years.
And she knows how to keep me on track. So here they are made with jade, and sometimes they were even encrusted with jewels to up the pressure and the weight. So
gives a new meaning to the family of jewels.
Hey, you're not wrong. Maybe there's a connection there.
So a weighted cock ring.
I don't know about the weight, but this article said, the weight of the ring could
Well, if you're putting around your sticks and your berries, a weight might be nice. It might tug.
Yeah, maybe it would be.
Can you do dick exercises? I had an ex-boyfriend that could lift his penis.
Well, when it's hard, of course, yeah. Oh. I can do that when it's hard. When it's not hard, you can't do much. Here's what happens. So
I know they're useless.
Yeah, they are. Yeah.
Useless members. I hate that word.
So I'm distracted thinking of the trainer I saw today again. Was it this episode or last I mentioned that?
I don't know.
I'm still thinking about it.
Enough.
Okay. Once people realized you could decorate cock rings made of jade and make slightly different shapes, they began evolving to address the ladies. That's right. Enter the clit. Cock rings in the 1600s began featuring more elaborate carvings like dragons and serpents.
So you're telling me that there are some men that are grown ass and don't know what a clit is now, but they knew what it was in 1600 and could design a cock ring to pleasure it.
Oh boy, boys. How are you going to answer that?
Really?
Yeah, right. Yeah, shocking. And they got creative with the clit too, because some of these cock rings, they would carve dragons, serpents, any creature that could have a tongue sticking out.
Hence what they are now.
What?
if you look up cock rings right now on, let's go to Wicked Wanda's. We always support small business.
Yeah.
Go to Wicked Wanda's website, look up cock rings. There's rabbits, there's dolphins.
Yes, they've got to have something sticking out to fiddle with the
antennas or something.
To flick the bean, as one of our coworkers used to say.
Ew, I hate that. That is so gross. I don't know why I don't like that at all, but I don't.
Well,
flicking the bean,
agree.
it makes it sound dirty and weird.
And it's not shaped like a bean, is it?
No, it's more like a button.
It's more like a
okay,
tell me,
Jesse. Tell me, Jesse, what a vagina looks like.
This is an educational episode, and I would like to be educated just like our listeners.
I don't know what it looks like. It looks like a clitoris.
Or like a nipple. Is it like a woman's nipple?
It looks like an oyster with a pearl.
I thought it was
the clitoris is like a bead, like a little.
Wow, I always pictured them as bigger than a pearl.
Well, some of them are. Some people have big clitorises. Some people don't. Every vagina, there's not a single vagina that looks the same as the next.
What is this thing where when a porn star's bending over like doggy style and it looks like there's a big like thing hanging out? Is that just like loose lips? That's not the.
No, that's your. Oh my God, I can't believe I don't even know my own parts.
But
look, I'm drunk. Okay, is it the vulva?
It like hangs out a bit.
Some people's do. Some people's don't. Some people's you can tuck in.
Oh,
that's the episode we need. We need to do an episode that Jesse explores the vagina.
Oh my God.
But we just need a volunteer because I am not letting him explore my vagina.
No, it's not gonna be you. You're gonna be my coach.
Yeah. And it'll be like totally like medical in a sense. Table, person's lying on the ground, they have like a sheet up like when you get a C-section, and you can sit there with a doctor and ask freaking questions. I think it would be great. Well, no, I'm sure you would. I'm sure a bunch of women would learn from that experience.
My heart's beating just thinking about that.
Whoa, okay,
not in a good way.
Don't look at me.
No, but just like that would really.
You could have a heart attack.
That would be intimidating for me, big time. I think.
Right.
But I would do it because do I want to die a gold star gay? I don't know if I do.
Yeah, it's weird for me to say anything because like I've explored the other gender. You have not.
Yes, no, I haven't.
But they're scary things. Vaginas are scary. I'll even say that my vagina scares me monthly.
Yeah.
Scares me all the time.
Like
all the time.
An old man smiling at you sideways.
Not even. Okay, you're gross. But ladies know, how often does your vagina scare you?
What do you mean by that? You're not helping a poor gay man understand them.
Cramps.
Oh, okay.
Change in pH levels.
Got it. I thought you meant like something comes out.
She's a sensitive girl,
But also very intuitive because they're self-cleaning ovens. I know that.
Hell yeah. So don't stick stuff up there that doesn't belong.
Cock rings are acceptable.
Unless he comes with a big paycheck.
That was good.
Thank you.
Hey.
I'm getting drunk. That's
she's on fire.
She's drunk. Jenna's coming out.
I love her. Okay, so next up is I haven't seen you in a minute. Next up is the dark side of the cock ring.
Oh no, there's a dark side?
There is. This is what I was talking about at the beginning when they got like outlawed and shit. Like everybody got scared of them.
They outlawed cock rings at one point.
They did. And actually they got
oh, and you don't want to buy that underground cock ring.
And they got violent.
Oh.
So, yeah.
That's the thing is take something away from men like a cock ring and they will revolt.
Well, no.
But they won't join their sisters in fighting for equality.
But this is also, we're still in the 1800s. The men didn't get violent. The cock rings got violent. Hear me out. So here's what happened. By the Victorian era in the 1800s, cock rings had infiltrated Europe, but they got too crazy. This is like what we're talking about with Amanda Siebert in the mushrooms, right? Too many people were doing them that the government got freaked out.
Same with the butt plugs.
But what's a cock? How's that going to affect anybody? It's a cock ring. Like, it's crazy. So they were outlawed. And in fact, they went the opposite direction. So now cock rings.
Hold on. Could you imagine you're sitting at home, you get a knock on the door. Police. Hello. We have a report from your neighbor that there is a cock ring in your house.
What?
Can we please search? Like,
I've always wondered about that shit. Like even now, isn't there crazy laws in Texas? You can't own a dildo over a certain size. Like,
right.
Who's checking that? Who's checking?
Right. And look, if someone has a deep cavity, they have a deep cavity.
Yeah. Even the gay thing, when gay was illegal, oh, we're just friends. How are you going to prove it? Oh, his dick's in my mouth. Okay. So here we go. So they were started to be issued by people that were pearl clutchers and proper society members for the opposite purpose.
Southern Americans.
To decrease pleasure and repress masturbation. Boring. So they were basically like a chastity belt for your dick and would come lined with spikes. So if
you got a boner.
Right, you see? Talk about a boner killer.
I was watching New Girl, which is a great show to like when you need like binge watching sort of background sounds going on. New Girl, and he broke his dick and it had to go in a cast because he kept getting a boner and it would fuck up the stitches. So he had to put his dick in a cast.
So it couldn't get hard.
Right. And it was so hard for him to like suppress that. Oh my gosh. So you had a cage of death on your penis. Yep. And every time you got aroused, and I hear that men, and please tell me if I'm not hearing right, I'm just hearing rumors, but I hear men just get boners for no reason at all.
Oh yeah. At my age, I find it's mostly overnight. Like I have a boner almost all night long.
So you don't sleep on your stomach then?
No, I don't. But sometimes
your poor dogs.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my God, what's poking me in the eye?
I this is something. Oh God, we are TMI on this show. But I like
how you always say we. Just before you're gonna expose some deep, dark, sadistic.
It's not sadistic. It's just I get really hard overnight a lot, and it's like I've wondered if I need to talk to the doctor because. Like in my waking hours, I'm not like some horn
Does
dog
it hurt?
slut. No, it doesn't hurt. But
do you have to fully like?
No. But I just wonder if there's a connection between my lack of sex life in the daytime, where my subconscious when I'm sleeping is like, oh, I'm so horny, let me out.
I don't think you're alone when you say you get hard at night. I think a lot of guys
do.
It
is normal.
Like morning wood, hello.
Yeah, but it happens a lot.
But I also hear like you can be walking down the street and then like wind blows a different direction. And you're like, oh my God, I just got a boner.
Yeah. Or if a trainer changes in front of you at the gym.
No, well, that I mean is a straight up boner.
I got into the shower so quick. But yeah, so at nighttime
have you ever masturbated at the gym?
No, I haven't. I really
haven't. Took a long time to think about that.
Because I was trying to think, should I lie? I mean, like, I was saucy for the podcast, but I haven't. You know, I'll tell you something. Actually, no, I won't. I have never masturbated at the gym, but I feel like I am missing out on a subculture at the gym where guys hook up because...
I think you're going to the wrong gym. There are those kind of gyms. Like in Vancouver, there's tons of those gay gyms.
Well, there are here too, but like if I'm going to the gym, I'm there to work out. But like,
well, yeah, you work out and then you work out afterwards.
Well, so one of my friends, this was like a year or two ago, was in the sauna at the gym with another guy, and I walked into the sauna, but I didn't know anybody was in there. Nothing was happening. But then later that day, my friend texted me being like, why'd you have to come in? Something was about to happen. And that sounds
like a lie.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
It's like a friend that was like, oh, dude, I totally would have kissed her if you weren't here, man.
You're right. Yeah, I bet you're right. Yeah, thank you. I bet you're right. Because I'm like, all this time, like, no one's ever hit on me in the sauna. Like, nothing ever happens. So thank you for that. You're probably
saunas creep me out. They're dirty. I just find them dirty. They smell dirty. Everything about like people just go in there and literally just sweat their toxins out.
And since COVID's been
here. And I hate when you're like sitting there and all of a sudden like your bare skin touches like a tile or something. You're just like,
cold.
Yeah.
But since COVID's been on, the sauna has not been open, which is a very telling, right? Because it's like, well, you can open the gym, you can open the pool.
No, saunas are so bad. Right? Well, because if someone coughs in there because of the humidity, the germs don't drop quickly, so they'll float for a bit. That's why they said like it's harder to control. Or I can't remember. Never mind. I don't know.
Okay, back to the cock rings. So here they were outlawed for a while, but cock rings and the dicks that needed them couldn't be restrained for long. So it was about 100 years though.
And the girls that needed the guys to wear them.
Yeah, amen. So there was a book that came out in the year 1791 called Justine. My sister's name. And this was the first book to really take off and start to normalize kink and talk about BDSM. 1791.
Maybe we should keep a note of that. Maybe we'll look up that book and
Justine, yeah.
read some of it, and maybe that'll be our next history class.
Yeah, well, the interesting thing about this book, Justine, is it came out in 1791, and it took a long time for it to gain traction, actually about 100 years until it became popular. But once it did, it started to, you know, make people realize maybe they were into different fetishes or BDSM, and so open their brains a little bit. Next thing you know,
or maybe they just felt that it was okay to think this way, because obviously other people
if it's in a
are,
book,
if it's in a book.
Yeah, exactly. And then right on the heels of that book's popularity in 1844, rubber got invented. Here we fucking go.
Latex.
Yeah, everything.
No, latex was way later. Rubber is different than latex.
But rubber,
yeah,
it was still the same, whatever. So here we go. You can see the trajectory of the cock rings.
The cock ring is really just the world's smallest tire.
Yeah, actually, it is. For when you're driving. See what I did there?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so
unfortunately, I witnessed, and you're a stand-up comedian.
Opinions vary.
Oy vey.
All right. Cock rings, however, didn't become normal until the 1900s. So about 100 years of them, you know, figuring themselves out with this rubber. Then the mid 1900s, they fucking blew up. They started showing up in porn and magazines. By the 1970s, the gays had taken over the cock rings, as we do with everything that's trendy. Gay men started wearing cock rings as bracelets and necklaces, not to be slutty, but
how small is your neck?
I knew you were going to ask this. On as a pendant.
And your wrist, how small is your wrist, or how big is your cock?
Because they're elastic.
I guess so, but you shouldn't wear them for more than 20 minutes.
Well, I don't know.
Same thing. This is where all your veins are, right here too.
That's true.
Showing off my tattoos, which no one ever sees, which is so funny. But anyways,
they do now. They do now. So, so they believe that wearing cock rings as jewelry essentially was sticking it to the man. You see, like sexual liberation and all that bullshit.
Yes, you are 100% wearing cock rings on your wrist from now on.
Should I?
I will buy them for you.
Oh, I have 3. I have a navy blue one, a black one, and a clear one. They're plain though. They don't have vibrating or anything.
Boring.
The popular ones among the gays, though, maybe you've seen these, especially in the leather community, are like they're snapped.
Spiked?
No, but they're snapped.
So they can change different sizes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where was I?
The gays took over the cock rings.
Yeah. And another reason the gays took them over is because anal sex requires, well, a very hard cock. And this is probably the biggest reason the cock ring caught on with the gay community, because when you combine anal sex with a lot of recreational drugs that cause you to not have such a hard erection, like coke or meth, or a lot of the ones that have been popular among the gays, not saying you should do them, but you know, facts are facts. Cock rings helps you stay hard. But like I was saying, you still have to get hard. So like certain things, even whiskey dick, if you have really hard whiskey dick, the cock ring won't help you, you know.
Right, because you have to get hard.
You still have to get hard.
Just that's the problem. That's the thing, is if once you get there, then the cock ring will help you.
Yeah.
Guide you the rest of the way.
That's right. You still have to get there.
You know, it's like Lord of the Rings. They had to go and find the fucking rings.
Yeah.
Before they had the powers.
And finding the rings means you have to get hard.
They had to find the rings before they got the power.
So then the gays enjoyed the cock rings until like the 80s. And after cock rings took off among the gay community, straight guys started to realize they're not so scary. And they became popular among the straights again, too. So cock rings for all.
Actually, in history, the straight guys were using the cock rings all the time. It's just they were too nervous to say anything about it.
Well, maybe in front of
they
their
weren't
girls.
as bold to wear them around their wrist and on their necklace.
But I could see how a straight guy would be intimidated to be like, hey, honey, I'm going to put this on. Like, you know, like it's a little bit of like saying
anytime you incorporate a toy into the bedroom, it is a little nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
For the first time, you know, it's not nerve-wracking. It's just like, oh, am I weird because I want this? Does he want it as much as I do? Are we both getting are we both getting, you know, the same pleasure out of it? It's just like anytime you have sex with a new person. It's about figuring out what they like, and that can be awkward.
Sure can.
Yeah.
So today, to sum this up, cock rings are not only made of a wider variety of materials.
Of eyelashes.
No, now today they're made of silicone, metal, or leather. Oh, metal one would be hot. No, you want it to have some give. But they also come with value add-ons like vibrators, beads, clitoral tongues, and even attached butt plugs.
Amen.
Cheers to the
tie-in.
cocktail.
Yes, please like and
subscribe.
I'm like drunk now. Please tell us if you enjoyed our sexistry. And if you would like us to cover another topic next week.
Cheers.
L'chaim.
I'm not trying to suck the dick. I just want to draw it. I'm an admirer. I like the way the shit looks on paper. People go to fucking Rome and stare at David's dick all day. What am I, some kind of sick fuck because I like looking at a dick?